Is Princess Leia liberal or conservative? As one of the most popular female characters in all of cinematic history, I think it would be interesting to find out what ideology this princess conveys to her adoring fans. Star Wars has become as much a part of our culture as the American flag itself. Since its debut in 1977, the cinematic phenomenon ushered in the modern era of the summer blockbuster and has created a whole universe of merchandising.
Merchandising! Merchandising! Where the real money from the movie is made.
Star Wars introduced us to many beloved characters, but there was one character that stood out amongst the group as the most popular. And we'll do his video another time, but for now we're going to focus on one of the other most popular characters. Thanks to great performances by the late Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia has been and will continue to be widely considered one of the best movie characters of all time. Leia's influence on young girls and women everywhere was nothing short of extraordinary, and also gave fanboys a girl to admire rather than just fawn over. But rest assured, they still did that anyway.
What?
Since her impact on our culture cannot go without notice, and as a character with a diplomatic title, I think it's important if we find out if Princess Leia is actually more liberal or more conservative. Now to be clear, I'm focusing strictly on the ideology of the character, so I'm not going to be discussing anything political here. So for anybody out there who wants to pick a political fight, all I can say is,
I don't know who you are or where you came from. From now on, you do as I tell you, okay?
to assess a character's ideology, we're going to be focusing on three key elements, which is personality, motive, and arc. Now, I am aware that there are novels, cartoon shows, and a whole bunch of other mediums that involve Princess Leia in the Star Wars universe, but to simplify this, I'm going to be focusing strictly on the feature films that feature Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia. And just like that, I probably ticked off half the Star Wars fans for ignoring the holiday special. Personality. Princess Leia is a woman of royalty who has a habit of making fun of those around her.
I recognized your foul stench when I was brought on board.
Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
Too little short for a stormtrooper.
Huh? Her snarky attitude gives her an edge over her enemies, but it also makes her irresistible to some of the male heroes.
He's my brother.
Our thoughts exactly, Han. Our thoughts exactly. Her teasing and developing relationship with Han Solo makes her a female character that is for once not only focused on love, but mostly on her duty. She acts like a leader throughout the films because she gives commanding orders to the rebellion, which earns the respect of those around her. I guess you could say this makes her a force to be reckoned with. As a princess, she conveys both beauty and elegance in her presence, but she is also responsible for inspiring some of the ugliest hairbun styles for women everywhere. Now, I know it's only for fun, but ladies, unless you're dating a hardcore fanboy, this is not your best look.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder!
Leia broke new ground as a princess because she refused to be the damsel in distress, and with a unique appearance and presence that inspired millions, I'm gonna say that her personality is a little more liberal. Motive. As a leader and later general of the rebellion, Leia is motivated to stand up against the evil forces of the universe. Her efforts in taking down the Empire and the First Order are grounded in a good moral structure of right and wrong. But to be fair, it's really easy to tell that you're on the right side of things when the other side is called the dark side. As for her personal life, Leia is motivated to help those closest to her, especially her brother Luke and her love interest Han Solo. She finds a willingness to run into risky situations in order to save them. And when it comes to her son Kylo Ren, let's just say we're still not sure if she's going to win Mother of the Year. Undoubtedly, she stands as a symbol of hope to those around her because she acts as such a prominent force. I did it again. Leia's motives seem to be pretty simple. She wants to stop evil empires from tyrannical rule and protect those she loves. Based on that, I'm going to say that her motive is a little more conservative. Arc. During the decades-long run of the series, Princess Leia has appeared in 5 of the Star Wars films to date. That's if you don't include that digital cameo from Rogue One, but guys, I don't know what that is. When we first meet her in the original Star Wars, she is Princess Leia Organa of Alderaan, a key member of the rebellion against the Empire. Now, in the later films, along with her newly discovered brother Luke Skywalker, she learns that she actually has a connection to the mystical powers of the Force, which she actually doesn't use that often unless it's turning ships around or turning back to a ship. Throughout the subsequent films, she keeps fighting with the rebels and eventually gets the title of General Organa when we meet her in The Force Awakens. Now that means that a lot of her motives have stayed exactly the same throughout the series, But there's no denying that it seems like everything else has changed. Everything from her appearance, to her abilities with the Force, her relationship with Han Solo, her family's lineage, and eventually her parental status. Now, given that amount of character arc, I'm gonna say that it's more liberal. And that's it! With a final score of 2-1, I'm gonna say that Princess Leia is indeed more liberal. When you look at how much she changed our culture, I think this ideology does fit her well. But does anybody ever talk about how she has a really messed up relationship with all the men in her life? I mean, her boyfriend comes and goes, she makes out with her brother, she fights her father's empire half her life, and eventually ends up fighting her homicidal son. Jeez, I mean, thank God Obi-Wan is normal.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Now hold on, Star Wars fans, this is just my opinion, so if you disagree or agree, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more videos like this.